So how is blues, which is originally an American art form, received in other countries?
That is a really great question, because exactly what is happening and has been happening for, you know, decades now is it's such an attractive music. It speaks to the human heart and soul, whether you understand what the words are or not, that people all over the world love this kind of music. Now, do they love Americans and all the wonderful things we're doing in the world right now? I don't think so. I'm not going to ask you to read the news either, because that will just be such a drag. We'll just throw these guitars down and go get drunk or something. We can do better. But we'll just play some blues for all the horrible things that are happening in the world. But to the question you said, this music is attractive to all kinds of people. And as you know, there are some people that just have a talent. They hear it and they go, that's me. I can do that. Suppose, you know, it's somebody in Russia or in Italy or in South Africa. I've made friends like on Facebook or in my travels with people from all over the world that can play good. And it's got to the point now where somebody will contact me and say, I can get you some gigs in, say, Italy or Central Europe or Spain or South Africa, and I can get you a good band that will know the language of this music and will back you up well, and you come over here. We don't have to pay to bring a whole band over. We can afford to give you the money instead of the airlines, which the airlines are the enemy. And it works out fine for me. And it got to the point, I'll just tell you a very sweet story. I was touring in Italy last winter when I got a Facebook message from another Italian band that said, I think our band would work well with you. I said, well, I've already got a friend in Italy that is bringing me around here. And he said, you know what, I live way up in the northeast corner in a town called Trieste, which is near Slovenia and Croatia and other Central European countries on the Adriatic Sea. And he says, I work there most of the time anyway. I could book you with us and not conflict with your Italian friend. We can all work together. And that's exactly what's happened over the last year. I did my first tour with this guy about a year after he called me in April, and we sounded so good together and got to be such good friends that I said, you know, we really should record together and at least have an album that will promote us playing together for when I come here. And unlike what's happening in the United States now, the government of cities and other countries are still funding the arts. Now, maybe that's happening somewhat for the Uptown Collective, is it? You tell me.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
grants from organizations and stuff like that.
Well, you know, be prepared for people to try to cut back on that stuff, which at this point you folks are already so dedicated to the music that you're going to go on no matter who takes what away from you. I mean, nothing's going to stop you at this point, but at least you got started. But other countries are friendlier about that type of thing. And he got some money for us to go into the studio for a couple of days and track some and track an album together. So we were in there last Monday and Tuesday in Slovenia in a beautiful studio with really good equipment and really good engineers, recording the best music we could make together, and probably end up being my next album, and that will be International Blues.
Cool. Do you think that blues is an important genre to study for all musicians?
I wouldn't say that. There's probably some people, for whatever it is, that their taste just does not run to blues. Maybe I would hate to say, oh yeah, it has to be blues. Blues is or the way Willie Dixon says, blues is the roots and all the rest is the fruits. But I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't think it's for everybody. There's some people that probably just can't stand this stuff, but if they heard Polish polka, they would get up and go, I live to do the polka, and that's their thing, and God bless them for it.
What would you say is the best environment where blues music fits? In like a certain venue, or could it really work anywhere?
Well, I think it can, and I have played blues in so many different places that I think wherever soulful people who will appreciate it are is the answer. However, just to give you a laugh, a week ago, Friday night, I played at a yacht club near an airport near Rome. It was all very, very rich people who listened to the music closely and really, really liked it, but they could afford to buy my CDs a lot better than, say, people would have if I played it in kind of a neighborhood bar or something where the people that came in there were not as affluent. It can be, once again, it brings all kinds of people together, people of all ages, all countries, all genders, all gender preferences, just all different races come together over this incredibly attractive music that seems to go beyond our differences and get to what brings us together, which is our humanity and wildness, and the crazy guy that was screaming the first time I met the blues last night. I'm not letting you get out of the way of this.
So what advice can you give to young musicians such as the ones here at the Uptown Music Collective?
There is more opportunity to learn about this music than there ever was. When I was trying to do it, you'd have to basically find a friend that knew something about it, somebody that was a record collector, and listen to these old rare records which were played on turntables. Now, if you hear about somebody, say, you ever hear of a guitar player named Lonnie Johnson?
I think I have.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, if you go YouTube Lonnie Johnson, you'll find things that he maybe recorded sometime between the 20s and the 60s, maybe just by himself. And when you're finished listening to him, you'll say, Jimi Hendrix was a little baby. Not because the guy played that wild, but the beauty of his playing. You can find that if you know how to spell Lonnie Johnson in the YouTube search field. What an opportunity, and not only hear them, but sometimes you can see old films of them and see what they did, see what they were doing with their fingers, and even more important, see the showmanship that they put into it. T-Bone Walker, you know how sweetly and beautifully and melodically and playfully, I'm sure you've heard some of his music. While he was doing that, he was doing splits and jumping and playing, yeah, and now, you know, that stuff it's just a bunch of showbiz, but people love it better than good playing, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just the way people are. But there are just such great opportunities to get into this music and get into it fast, and I believe that's why the young people I've been seeing here at the Uptown Music Collective, aside from the guidance of good teachers, can also find it for themselves. If you have a passion about it, you might go home and say, I wonder about this, and you can download a song for $1 from YouTube, from iTunes, or just look at a video all you want to, and find things a whole lot easier than we did, and that's one of the good things about the modern conveniences. So you can go after it a lot easier. You can, if you have a passion, even if all this disappeared, say you moved to another city, you're already on your way, you can find it.
Cool, well that's all the questions. that we have, and why don't we get to a little.
Let's just play a little verse of slow blues in E. That's kind of how blues guitar players shake hands.